In the summer of 2015, 4 of my cousins and some friends wanted to have a sleepover. We all decided it was best to sleep over at my uncle's house, since no one was living there at the time. Now I kid you not, the house legit looks creepy. My uncle once said that someone actually died in the basement, and I believe it was to be a suicide. We always heard experiences from my family members, saying the house is haunted, but we didn't let that bother us. It actually made things a little more interesting. So we all packed our bags and headed over to the house. As we were arriving to the house, I did feel some weird vibe pulling up in the driveway. It felt kinda sinister. The house looked kinda isolated, but not to the point of abandonment. Anyways, the crew was me, John, Armando, Alex, Jessica, along with her 2 friends. We all got situated in our rooms, and by that time it was already 7 o'clock. Naturally, we all started to get hungry, so we cooked up a couple of hot dogs, ate some chips, and we started to drink. It was now 10, and we were kinda buzzed. Now I'm pretty sure when I say this, that me and my cousin Armando started to hear something in the kitchen. It was a light tapping noise. I don't know what it was, but I went in the kitchen and it went away. Honestly, I didn't think of it much at that time, so I resumed to drinking with everyone. As we went on, we began to get a little tired, so the girls all went in a room next to the one where us guys were sleeping for the night. I was super tired, but I wanted to lay down and use my phone. As everyone began to finally sleep, I saw it was almost 1 o'clock. Once I began to rest my eyes, I heard that light tapping noise again. I definitely wasn't going by myself, so I tried to wake up Armando, but all he did was grunt at me. I then said to him, "I heard that noise from earlier." He just turned around and said it was probably nothing. Maybe he was right, it was probably nothing. But what happened next is probably the weirdest, but most bone-chilling thing I would ever hear. "Are you guys hearing this?" I whispered. Everyone seemed to be getting up at this point. It was literally a baby cry somewhere in the house. All the guys got out of the room to investigate the noise. Then all the girls came out. They all were confused but nervous. Even us guys were kinda shaken. But then we started to hear it again. For some reason, the sound of the baby made me want to throw up. We all tried to find out where the noise was coming from. So when we went closer to the kitchen, there's this side door leading into the basement. That was where the noise was coming from. Nobody seemed to want to go down there, especially the girls. So Armando and I volunteered to go. Of course, the lights weren't working for the basement, so we slowly walked down with our phone flashlights. We reached down the stairs and everything was pitch black. Armando went in deeper into the basement, while I just stood at the bottom of the stairs. There wasn't any noise until I heard that tapping noise again. It sounded like it was coming from the left side of me. So I went in to check it out, and I went into which I believe is the boiler room. It was pretty empty, but then I spotted something that looked like a human figure. I was just staring at it. I was terrified. I yelled to Armando and I ran upstairs. Armando was right behind me and said, "Let's get out of here." We were all too shocked, and I told everyone of what I saw and heard. We all agreed not to sleep there. As time passed, I sometimes have an urge to check it out again. Maybe I'll go back and see if I can spot anything again. Who knows? I might just have to find and wait. I was 16 years old at the time. My cousin Adrian and I were planning a sleepover at his house. His parents wouldn't be there until early next morning. Adrian wanted to play some Black Ops Zombies that night. And of course, you can't go wrong with a little food. So we had some Jack's pizzas in the fridge, and we cooked them up for the night. We played a good hour or so, and we were pretty deep into the rounds. Occasionally, Adrian would get Snapchats from this girl he was talking to. I would tell him like, "Hey, what'd she say?" And he would just smile and say, "Oh, you know, the good old stuff." But as the night got long, we wanted to see some YouTube videos. But every time we put a video on, his phone would ring the Snapchat notification. So you know how annoying that would get. Anyways, I had to go to the bathroom. So when I went in there, there's this sunflower plant that has a smiley face, and when you get close to it, it will sing to you the "You Are My Sunshine." It was a little creepy, so I just turned its face away while I did my business. We would both be sleeping upstairs in his room, and it was sort of like an attic. You had to go through his family's stuff to get to his room. We just kept watching videos until we passed out. About another hour passed, and Adrian was fast asleep, so I would just resume watching more videos on my phone. Adrian got another snap from that girl. I just ignored it and kept watching. But another 30 minutes passed, and again I heard a Snapchat notification. But this time it sounded like it wasn't next to Adrian's bed. It sounded like near the hall of his family stuff. I paused my video and tried to look for Adrian's phone, but it wasn't nearby. So I got up and tried to look on the floor, and I still didn't see anything. I whispered to myself, "What the fuck?" The sound again came from the area where the stuff is stored. I looked over to Adrian, but he was still out. I walked slowly to the hall, and on the floor was his phone. I was confused, so I went over to pick it up. I felt sick to my stomach. I hurried back to Adrian and tried to wake him up. He was confused, and he too could hear the music going off. But this time, it sounded like it was fading away back downstairs. But the only way to have that music is to have that one plant I saw in the bathroom. So I explained to Adrian about that, and he said, "Let's go check it out." As we went back downstairs, you can still hear the song. So we slowly went into the bathroom, and right there was the plant. But remember how I turned it around? It was facing us as we entered the bathroom, and the music was still going. Adrian went to go turn it off. He said there might be someone else in the house, so he called his parents. They cut their trip short, and they arrived about an hour or so. They checked the whole house, but didn't find anything. I explained what I saw, but they didn't really say much. I'm not really big on ghosts or the paranormal, but I could never explain this. All I know, that's probably the creepiest and most insane thing that happened to me.